Hey, welcome to Liquid Lunch. We're here live, finally. It's Tuesday, February 5th, 2013. Of course, you're watching this right now.
Yes. So it actually is Tuesday, February 5th, 2013.
Yeah, and it's me, Hugh, and Sandra's here, and we got a great show lined up. Before we get in with our first guest, we should just tell people who else we got coming on the show, and then we'll get busy with Shannon, but we've got Dennis Chadbourne coming on. He's a homeopathist.
Well, that's what DHMHS.
Something like that. And he's got a unique program that we're going to find out all about.
Okay.
Also, Trew, Danny Gale's going to be here, actually, before that.
Okay.
And talking about, he brought his piano, and we're going to get a live performance. And
you can make a request.
You can make a request.
Okay, I'll think of something.
I'm not going to make a request and complicate things. Okay.
I'm much more simple, Hugh, so I'll come up with, like, happy birthday request, right?
Don't. You have to pay royalties on that. Yeah, actually do.
No way.
Even when you sing it. Yeah, if you haven't paid royalties, then you've got some explaining to do.
I think we need to talk to Shannon about the manners on royalties.
Okay. Also, Kathy Trew's coming in. She's going to Skype in from Vancouver.
Oh, wow.
She's a Reiki
Vancouver.
person, and I think she does animal healing as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting. But we're going to start the show off with Shannon Smith, author of Power Manners, and you do a lot of different stuff, right,
yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
And it's great to have you here. I know you've been here at the station before, and we met you at the PBN event, but what are we talking about today? Where do you want to start? What have we done wrong? What have we done wrong?
Well, okay.
Manner-wise.
My back is as straight as it could possibly be. I'm probably going to have a sore back by the end of this interview.
But it's all good in the long run.
Yeah, I guess.
That's true. Well, you know, I have a saying, I never look until I get paid.
Okay, so we're safe.
We're
safe, Hugh.
Really?
So you're safe.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
You know, people get nervous around me. They're fiddling with their pearls.
Absolutely.
Or they're putting their hair back.
You're worse than an auditor or the IRS or something.
That's right. Exactly. And I had to come up with something to say, what do I do? Talk like a doctor and say, all right, I'm at the party tonight. Call me in the morning. Take an aspirin tonight.
Yes.
So, there you go. Call me in the morning.
Okay. Now, before we get into this, I just want to ask you how you got into this. What was it? What attracted you to get into this field where you're really educating people about how they can be better mannered and be more polite?
I didn't start off with this. I started off as a nurse.
Okay.
And yes, so I'm still in a nurturing business, but I wanted to be a fashion designer, and I opened up my own shop with $500 that I saved up from my nursing, and I went and I actually designed all of the clothing for the shop. I had a shop in Burlington, so I was dressmaking, and that's tough business. Really tough business.
Wow.
And my clients were coming in either losing weight or gaining weight. The seams were coming in and out, and I thought, this is not for me. So I decided I would buy everything wholesale, and I imported clothing from, Italy, France, England, all over, and I had Wayne Clark, was one major designer of mine. So it was at that level. And I had the shop for 5 years. And during that time, I was doing presentations, I was doing fashion shows, I was conducting seminars at Sheridan College on the New You Day for women, and it all evolved. But I knew very early on that I wanted to do something different, and it wasn't nursing, but my father said, there's no money for you to go to New York, Parsons to school. So I chose nursing. You either become a nurse or a teacher.
Practical. That's practical.
That was practical. So it's never left me. Of course, you know, you always use psychology no matter where you are and what you're doing. So the psychology always came into play. And now I'm nurturing my clients on dress, personal branding, creating a brand for people so that they're more dynamic, more attractive and attracting to whatever they're selling. As you know, we all sell ourselves first before we sell our product, our service, or our company. And companies are paying me very well to teach their employees how to wine, dine, and act fine. So as I came along, I was doing presentations. So I was taking presentation skills, and I had a number of associates around me that I was giving my client to if they needed presentation skills. And my accountant said to me, "What are you doing? You've been training in this yourself. Why don't you put together a course and add that to your repertoire?" And that's exactly what I did. So, I take people shopping. I see them in their home. By the time I'm leaving their home, I have an action plan put together so that we can move forward. And I have a 1-hour consultation to a 1-year program for top-level employee CEOs and entrepreneurs.
Okay, so who would be the ideal people that should consider getting in touch with you?
Well, anyone that wants to have more success, more credibility, more authority in their lives, in every area of their life. And manners in particular, and business etiquette, and knowing how to dine, these are life skills that you take with you wherever you go in your life. And of course, teaching. You can teach your children these things that are now missing from every walk of life.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because some people say that there's been a decline in manners.
It's steep.
Is it really?
It's like
So what's going on, Shannon? What's going on with that?
It's a ski hill.
Is it really? Is it that bad?
It's that bad.
What's going on? Why?
What's going on?
I think texting doesn't help, right? All these words that we don't even spell properly anymore.
Terrible. We're in a fast society, first of all, and everybody, you know what it is? It's instant pudding. Everybody wants instant pudding.
Or share
with coconut on top.
With coconut on top, and they want it now. And these things do not come now. If you're on TV, as you are, you practice your skill for quite a long time. I have myself. I've got 20 years experience. So I just didn't do this overnight. And it takes practice. No matter what it is, it takes practice. And attention. And being aware that the more polished you are, and I'm not talking about someone being a walking fashion plate out of Vogue or GQ magazine, but cleanliness. How about cleanliness? How about a clean-shaven face? How about deodorant? There are people coming into our country, they've never used that before.
Yes.
I mean, you're smiling, but believe me, I've got lots of people that I work with that are from other countries.
So these are cultural issues too, correct?
Oh, yes.
So how do you approach somebody with a cultural issue?
Well,
when it's not exactly.
Well, that's very interesting that you're saying this, because I've developed an online training program, a diversity training program.
Okay.
And it's all about communicating, and it's all about how to work in this
arena.
Okay. It's not about, if I'm going to China, I'd better know how to behave in China.
You're in their turf.
In their turf.
Yeah.
But on our turf, I teach North American style of everything, how to communicate in North America. So it's business communication skills for North America. And how we present ourselves, what we demand, and how they have to know these. People that I'm working with don't know these things. So how can we expect someone coming from another country to?
Yeah.
Especially when, in general, it's in decline all across the culture.
It's in decline, and there are several reasons for that. Two parents are working, or they don't have time. It's fast food everywhere. Sunday dinner is gone, or very, very seldom. So when does a child, or when does anyone get to learn how to dine properly, how to present themselves, how to dress appropriately for different situations?
Well, you must feel like you're fighting an uphill battle here, then. Or either that, or you've got this huge and growing market.
I have a great market. And you just have to walk down the street and see my market.
So how receptive are people to this, Shannon?
Well, first of all, the comment that I said about I never look until I get paid.
Yes.
I don't judge anybody.
Okay.
I don't talk about my business. I mainly word of mouth.
Okay.
That's how I attract my clients. And I work with all the corporations in Fortune 500 companies in North America. I travel across North America, and I have clients that fly in to see me here, and I have a 4-day residential program. I put them up at a major hotel on a personal level.
Okay.
And we do all of this. So it's dress, grooming, presentation skills. I have video. So they come prepared usually. If it's an entrepreneur, no, it's not prepared. He's never prepared. But that's okay.
Entrepreneurs aren't prepared?
No. And it's fun because I know that's going in. I send people a lot of information, a lot of homework to do before they get here.
Interesting.
So
So,
it's very interesting.
entrepreneurs are usually not prepared.
No, that's because they're high Ds usually.
High what?
High D.
What does that mean?
High D is a very dominant, aggressive personality.
Okay.
So to be
So their skills are not necessarily refined.
well, no, it's a personality trait. They can be refined,
Okay.
but they're the idea people. They're the action people. They're the
Okay,
you know,
yes,
they're
yes.
out there.
So now, do you find them a real challenge?
Oh, I love working with entrepreneurs.
Because you would be one.
Oh, of course.
I'm high D.
I can relate because that's what I am
Okay.
an entrepreneurial woman.
Yes, actually you
And-
are.
But very well mannered.
So yeah.
Well, you know, I think people look at me sometimes, and they've told me this, that you look as if you've grown up with a silver spoon in your mouth. It's absolutely the opposite. I have a destiny to fulfill, and that destiny is to have a foundation called the Aloysius Foundation, which is a foundation for underprivileged children, and because I was one.
Okay.
And I wouldn't go into my story now, but I'm coming out with another book about my story. It's a motivational book. And I also have a producer interested in writing a made-for-TV movie around my life.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's
Well,
that's
very exciting.
That's a whole other interview.
Yes.
Boy, but you got
Yes.
me curious here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But okay, now we spent a lot of time getting set up with the
China.
the china
Yes,
here.
from Royal Dalton provides me with my china.
They make some pretty good china.
They do.
I understand.
It looks actually stunning.
It is. It's beautiful.
Now, why don't we do that right now? And you're going
All
to
right,
show
great.
us what you've done here, or what are you
All
going to
right.
tell us about
now,
the china
I'm going
here?
to start first with the napkin, because the
Okay.
napkin, everybody is so confused about what to do when they see a napkin
Yeah, I
Watch
never
your
know what
mic.
to do.
on a table.
Right.
Now, the napkin, this is a luncheon napkin. It would be bigger if it was a dinner napkin. But as you see, there's a fold. It's a smaller napkin. And what you do with the napkin is very simple. You make sure that the crease goes into the lap so that you can easily go like this and like this with the corners if you have something on the corners of your mouth.
Okay.
So it always stays like this. And for a man, usually the napkin, man always loses his napkin for some reason.
Because we sit on it.
You sit on it, but I'm suggesting that inside your suit, you just tuck it into your,
Oh, okay.
into your
Belt.
belt
Okay.
loop.
That's a
or
good
into
idea.
your pants. All right, so that's the way that can be worked. Now, as you see, we do have a complete set of china here.
Okay.
Now, one thing everybody always has a problem with where's the bread plate? Is it this my bread plate or is that my bread plate
That's
over there?
true.
Yes.
Yes.
Something very, very simple. So this is the bread and this is the water. Bread and water, totally opposite.
So,
And the forks are on the left-hand side. That means that the forks are always meant to be in the left hand,
okay.
never in the right hand. So it's nothing like this,
Oh, yeah.
holding,
Okay, I got something to talk to you about.
or like this,
Oh,
up to
right.
the mouth, like this.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to. Are you saying, Shannon, you eat with your left hand?
Yes.
What if you're right-handed?
Well,
that
you know
could
what
be a problem.
I teach the continental style of dining. So in the continental style of dining, that goes back centuries in Europe, that's
Yeah.
what we teach, that the fork never leaves the left
side.
hand.
Okay.
And
Now, I heard
Yes.
that Canadians tend to eat like that, with just leaving the fork in the right hand, but Americans cross it over in general.
Americans do everything different.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they took the English standard, the
Yeah.
European standard, and they mucked it up.
Okay. All right.
But the most elegant way to dine is the continental style of dining.
Okay.
Okay.
And there are some stories that I can tell you, but we'll do that later. However, Now, this is you'll notice that the bread knife is on the bread plate. Now, usually you might see it like this in a restaurant, but if you're dining, you don't want, your hand is over here, obviously you're sitting here, and you don't want to be having to crook and twist your hand around. But if it's like this,
it's
and the
easier
bread
to reach.
plate is being passed by, then the butter plate comes next, and it's very easy to just really just lift the fork,
and grab
the knife like that, and then you take a little bit of your butter and put it on your plate, and then you continue on. Now, you have a roll here. What do you do? How do you butter your roll?
Okay, I'm open.
You're open.
Tell me how you do it right.
All right. Whether you have a piece of bread or a roll, you never cut it in half and slather your butter up your arm. You know, like this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Holding
Yes.
on your roll. So you make sure that your roll is over the plate, and you take little pieces off of it.
Okay.
And you butter each piece.
So it's okay to break it with your hands?
Break it with your hands.
Okay.
Yes, you break it with your hands. So that's one thing. Now, also, let's just go over here to the cup, first of all. Now, you'll notice that the cup has a handle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it has a handle, so that we can use the handle.
What a novel idea.
Well, how many people do you see at dining that are holding their cup like this?
It's true.
Or they'll put their cup down on a tablecloth. It's not mannerly. So whether anything that has a handle, you do
use the handle.
Use the handle.
If it's got a handle, use it.
Yes. All right. Now, you're going to notice also that we have all the forks on this side. We're going to be reading the table today.
Okay.
So reading the table means that once we know our knives and forks, we're going to be able to understand what we're going to be eating. So I'm going to take this. This should really be here.
Soup spoon.
We were practicing earlier, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So we are going to have, as you see, the little bowl with the handles. You do not drink your soup.
Okay.
Like this. So now this is the soup spoon, and it's on the right side, so you use the soup spoon that's on the right side.
Okay.
That's the first thing that you see, and it's the first dish that you see. So we're going to have a consomme here probably. So then when you're finished, the soup spoon is held like this. It's very delicate.
Okay.
So, and also with your soup, you take your soup this way, and you don't lean over and slurp it up to your mouth, or you don't come down to the table. So it's this way and up to your mouth.
Okay.
So we're going to end with that.
So it's the exact opposite that most people do. Most people take it far and bring it forward, but you're saying go from the bowl, the part that's closest to you, and go away.
Yes, go away. The reason being that way you can tip your bowl to get every last little thing.
Okay.
And also it doesn't get spilt on your lap that way.
Ah, that's smart. Okay, that's my problem. Okay.
Now, you see
I'll be watching you from now on, Sandra.
Now, you see this little glass right here? That's a sherry glass.
Okay.
And if it's on the table, it means that you're probably going to have a consomme soup.
Ah,
This is almost a full service here. Now, you'll also notice that this knife is rather different than the other knives. It has a nick out of it.
Yeah.
And that means that this is the fish knife.
Okay.
All right, and the fish knife is always held in the right hand.
Okay.
And once you pick something up from the table, you never put your cutlery down again. It always ends up on your plate, and the server takes it away.
I see.
So it's very
that's
rude
interesting.
to put something back on the table.
Because you can dirty the table.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't want to have the hostess doing your laundry all the time. So this is the way you hold a fish fork.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So it's like a pencil. So there's the fish knife. So of
Now, do you
course
only
it
use
has-
that for fish?
Only for fish.
Okay.
So if you don't have that, you know you're not having fish today.
That's right. So
Okay.
if it's not there, no fish.
Okay.
So now we see that we also have a fork with a dent out of it. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at the base.
At the
kind of.
base.
Yeah.
One
okay.
of the tines.
Oh
It's got
wow.
a nick
Oh,
out of
the
it.
tine.
So
Yes.
it matches the fork matches
It's
the
a
knife.
fish fork.
Oh my
that's a fish fork.
God.
Now,
Oh.
the next one, let's take this away. We'll put this over here.
Oh, wow.
And we'll take this away. Now, here we have 3 glasses. So we've got a white wine glass with the fish course.
Okay.
And then we're going to have our entree. Our entree knife is on the right-hand side
Okay.
as well. So the entree knife is held like this because you're going to be cutting something. It's going to be
Okay.
meat.
Okay.
So it could be a beautiful rack of lamb. It could be venison. Ooh, buffalo. Lots of great things. So you hold your knife so that you've got lots of
Leverage.
Leverage.
Okay.
All right. Now, what's next? Oh, here's the big fork over here. Now, I would like to see you hold this fork in your right hand.
My right hand? I thought it was supposed to be my left hand.
I'm sorry, your left hand.
Okay, okay.
But how do you hold it in your right hand
No.
first?
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, I'm going to show you how you're supposed to hold your fork.
Okay.
Tines down. So if you can take the fork like this in your hand,
Okay.
in your left hand,
Okay.
Left.
My left hand.
left hand, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then just turn it over like this.
Okay.
Very simple. There you go. That's how you should be holding your fork. All the time.
Here, let me try.
How about if I'm eating rice? How do you do
You're not going to eat right anymore.
Rice.
Rice. Rice.
What do you mean right?
How do you eat rice?
Rice, well, like this.
Okay.
All right, I mean, there's no way you cannot eat rice.
Right.
Unless you have the bowl here and you're doing this.
Right. Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So, you want to try that one?
Oh, I thought I did, but
Okay.
yes, like this.
That's it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. That's the
Interesting.
proper way to dine. So, we have our entree knife, and now we have, what is next, do you think?
Salad?
Salad, yes. That's the European way of dining. Salad is always at the end. So here we have the smaller knife,
Okay.
all right, and we have the smaller fork.
Okay.
Smaller
Wow.
fork.
Okay.
So then as every course is taken, let's say this is our fish course. So we're finished with our fish course. The waiter knows when to pick that up because you have your
Okay.
like 10 to 4 position, your knife
Okay,
and fork.
okay.
So that's going to be gone.
Does the fork have to be upside down like that?
You know why they're upside down? Usually, if it was a monogram when they were very rich,
Yeah.
people would have their initials.
All my forks are monogrammed.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm glad to hear that. That's really great. I think one of these days I'm going to have a monogram on mine too. So now we have the white wine.
So now that plate goes. So
That
they
goes.
come and they
That's
grab
going
the.
to-
Okay. So
that's
now we
going to
have
be
the big
taken
plate
away.
left.
All right. So now this is your entree. There
Okay.
could be a server underneath, a bigger plate yet.
Okay.
And then they would take the server away as well. So now we've had our meal. Let's pretend that this is a salad plate.
Okay.
So there you're going to have your salad in small pieces, hopefully,
Okay.
and that'll be taken away. And then you're going to perhaps have these will all be gone.
Okay.
These will all be gone. There won't be anything left here except this charger.
Okay.
And you're going to have, let's say, a sorbet. And I'm going to take this glass just to
dessert,
say that
okay.
there's a sorbet here.
Okay.
All right? Now, usually, if it's a very elegant dinner, there's a sorbet between the fish course and the meat course.
Oh,
To
so it's
cleanse
not,
your
it's not a
palate.
dessert. Oh, okay.
I'm just talking about that.
Okay.
About that. I didn't suggest that. So now, what are these up here?
For the sorbet.
That's for the sorbet. But if it's for a sorbet, there would be another longer spoon here too.
Okay. Okay.
And they would bring that spoon to your plate with
okay.
the spoon.
Okay.
So now this is your dessert fork and dessert knife.
Okay.
So you'll see the fork you bring down this way, and the spoon you bring down that way. So let's say you have a cake with ice cream. You can use both at the same time. Again, the fork is in the left hand, and the spoon is in the right hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And now we might have champagne with our dessert.
Of course, we have to have
Boy,
champagne.
we're going to have to take the TTC home.
and go on a diet for the next week after this. This is enough to eat, and oh my God, this is more meals than I would eat.
Now, this is good that you're saying that, because people must understand that this is not about a 10-minute dinner. This is about relationship building.
Okay.
Sitting down to a 3-hour meal.
Yeah.
And that's the way you really are supposed to dine.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to foreign countries and they're taking you out to dine, then the woman usually doesn't get a menu with money on it.
Okay.
There's
the
no
pricing.
costing. The pricing is not there.
Okay.
And I have a very interesting story to tell you about that. I have a couple in their 40s. They're from the same company. They work together. And they went to Spain
Okay.
on a holiday, not holiday, for business. They were associates. And the woman didn't have the menu with the pricing. And she was ordering everything that she thought she'd like, and the fellow was kicking her underneath the table like this, and she was getting annoyed. So after the dinner, she asked him, why were you kicking me? He said, you ordered the most expensive things on the menu. She said, I didn't know. I didn't have any pricing on my menu. But, you know, as the host took them to a private club, and he told them that they can have anything they like. And if you can't afford it, don't invite.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the one who does the inviting is the one who pays.
Okay. Okay.
Always. So when you're inviting someone to lunch, you are the symphony leader.
So even if it's a woman inviting a guy for lunch,
Absolutely.
then the woman pays.
She pays.
Is that a new rule?
No, it's a very old rule.
Okay.
Does that apply in North
Interesting.
America?
It applies in North America.
There
But
you
you
go,
know,
here.
there's the dating game, and people have changed a lot of things. But the
Yes.
rule is the one who invites is the one who pays. If I'm inviting someone to lunch, I'll give you another hot tip for business people out there. It's important to know how to pay the bill in a restaurant graciously.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Especially if there's a woman inviting a male to lunch for business purposes.
Okay, okay.
So of course she's going to state, I'd like to invite you to lunch. I have a business situation that I'd like to speak with you about. So he knows up front that that's business.
Okay.
And she's inviting him. So she gets to the restaurant early. She may have given him a choice of maybe 2 restaurants that she's been to already. She's checked them out. She might have an account there.
Okay.
And they know her, so they know her by name. Miss Smith, your table is ready. You've been there. You selected the table you want to sit at. You might have slipped the maitre d' $50 so that he knows who you are. Oh, Miss Smith, I have your table ready. You know,
Okay.
a little bit
okay.
goes a long way.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, Shannon, we're just about out of time here,
Wow.
but I'm sure that all this stuff is included in your book.
It's included
Power
in the book.
Manners?
Yes, Power Manners actually was written. I wrote it, and I wrote 100 pages too many. Now I have 5 ebooks coming out of that 300 pages.
Wow.
So yes, this is a
Wow.
great book. It's how to use your personal skills for personal and business success.
So where can people get the book if they
From my
want?
website,
Which is?
powermanners.com.
That's great. That's a great URL. Congratulations on getting
It's
that.
easy.
Powermanners.com. And of course, now it's an ebook form. Can people order those
Not
also?
yet. It's coming. It's coming out.
Coming soon?
Coming soon in the spring.
Great.
We're waiting for spring.
All right. And what else should we, just one other thing maybe you can give us to take away from this today, because it seems to me in a culture where the manners and politeness is in decline, maybe you can give people one piece of advice that we can take
yes,
away from this.
You know, we have to be aware, and be aware of what's happening around you. Please and thank you is
Oh, that's a really good one.
that's really missing.
Underrated.
Yes, and also excuse me, please.
okay.
And how about opening doors? Waiting. Why are we in such a rush? You know, the more elegant you are, the more mannerly you are, it has no bearing on your education. I'm dealing with Harvard graduates, for heaven's sakes. They do not know how to wine, dine, and act fine. So this is another skill that you should have in your toolbox.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, very
Well,
interesting.
Shannon, this has been great, and I
learned
know
Thank you for having me.
I know you've got so much more to show us. So maybe we can have you back sometime
Oh,
and,
that'd be
and
great.
go
Maybe
over
hear
some
about
other
your
stuff.
life story.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
That would be nice.
when the movie comes out, we'll
Okay,
we can-
made-for-TV
we can
movie.
talk to her then.
Who's going to act? Oh, Jacqueline Smith.
Okay, you guys figure that
I
out.
don't know.
You-
Jacqueline
That's
Smith
not a
would be
bad idea.
amazing.
That's a good idea.
Okay, we're going to take a little break. We've got a video. Apparently, the Vatican is going to start to baptize aliens now, and we've got a video to
I
prove it.
wonder if they have manners in the way they do that.
Well, we're just going to have to teach them.
Do you know manners
Okay,
to do
so we're going
with
to watch this.
aliens,
We'll be
Shannon?
right back as the lunch continues.
Not me.
An incredible story coming out of the Vatican. Listen to this. The senior Vatican scientist said that he would be delighted if we encountered intelligent aliens and would be happy to baptize them. His pronouncement opens up the possibility of space missionaries heading out to the stars to convert aliens to Christianity. We're going to talk with a couple guests in a moment about this story. First, though, Richard Hoagland from the EnterpriseMission.com. Richard, what does this all mean?
Well, you know, the drip, drip, drip is becoming a splash, splash, splash. This is obviously planned run-up to disclosure. I mean, there's no other way to account for this. This guy is the Pope's chief astronomer. He is in charge of the Pope's meteorite collection back in Rome. I didn't know the Pope had a meteorite collection.
Well, he must have a good one.
And he's speaking tomorrow at the British Science Festival in Birmingham, but he's just down the street when the Pope coincidentally happens to be in London when he makes this series of major pronouncements officially. This is not like, Cardinal Balducci. This is official on-the-record Vatican policy. Remember when they said that the aliens or ETs would be our brothers and sisters?
This was the same guy who said that.
It's drip, drip at an increasing pace. Now, in a few days at the Stephen Greer's Transformation Conference down in Arizona, I'm going to be presenting some extraordinary new data on how all this fits into a disclosure paradigm that is racing at us at Warp 9, at his Rio Rico conference. And all I can say is that there's going to be an accelerating cascade of these events, not only from the Vatican. I mean, the Pope is in London to, refer on the Vatican's perspectives on extraterrestrials? And you're going to see things coming from our administration. There's a lot of clues that we're getting closer to some kind of official movement this fall. Remember, there's this big conference, the ESA conference going on in Rome beginning next week, where the Phobos data is supposed to finally come out that we've been talking about for months and months and months. So, no, I'm not surprised, and I'm looking forward to what your guests have to say, and all I can say is the big news here is not that the church is saying we would baptize aliens. I mean, give me a break. It's the legitimization of the conversation that aliens exist, George, and regardless of whether there are fake plans afoot, the false flag, or it's the real deal, it's irrelevant because there's enough data on the public record now, our work, Stephen's work, a lot of other work, that regardless of politically where this is tried to be bent, to be manipulated, the truth will come out as soon as the idea of aliens is legitimized, and that's why this story is of major import tonight.
Well, I'm glad you pointed it out to us, Richard. Richard hopped all over the story. And, of course, the father of modern-day ufology. In one of my very first radio interviews of the paranormal and the unusual back in 1971 was none other than with Stanton Friedman. What is your...
Here from cureme.ca, and Dennis, great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So I understand that you're a homeopathist.
A homeopath, yeah.
Homeopath,
Yeah.
okay. I'm not sure what the difference is there, but and I also understand you have a unique approach.
Yes.
So let's get into it. What tell us about your practice?
Basically, my practice is around recovering health. And really what I do is I recover people's health. I give them a second chance for health.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Do you mean after they've gone to see traditional medicine? Is that what that means?
99% of the people that come to me have gone through everything.
So you're a last resort?
I'm a last resort, yeah.
Okay, okay. That's got to make you feel real good.
The success rate is making me feel good, yeah.
Good,
Okay.
It really is my patients that make me function, basically. Yeah.
Well, we hear more and more about doctor-induced or healthcare system-induced illness, and I've got some personal stories in my family that I could tell you about. I'm not going to here right now, but I mean, people are, we hear stories about it. So
well,
these are people.
It's so common now that we don't even call it healthcare anymore. We call it sick care.
Well, also because
Right.
because of the drugs, it's like like that's the only thing they do is give drugs. And tell us. I'd like to know your story. How you got into should I say homeopathy or?
Yes.
Yeah, how did you get into it? What drew you to it?
Basically, I was sick for 45 years. Asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, and a huge cycle that way. The reason I really got into it is because I was treated for homeopathy, and I had about a 50% success in getting rid of all of those things. From that point of view, I started to treat myself, and 8 years later, I have none of it. I haven't been to a doctor in 8 years.
So what do you
no
attribute
asthma,
that
no
to?
bronchitis, no.
Do you think that that's just the homeopathy, or do you think some of that is a shift in your attitude, or?
I think it all has something to do with it.
Okay.
Even the 30% placebo effect, I think has a lot to do with it. We're naturally set up as an organism to recover.
A self-healing organism.
So when you say the 30% placebo effect, you mean just by thinking you're going to get better?
Yeah, there is that potential. People will use all sorts of things, but usually what happens is it only lasts for 3 to 6 months, then wears off.
Okay, so maybe I'd like to get you to define homeopathy, if you could, for people that may not know what it is or not know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Homeopathy is about 200 years old. And basically, if we can draw comparisons, it's we have a pharmacy, just like the medical practice has a pharmacy.
Okay.
Okay. From that perspective, we just understand that it's delivered differently.
And it also, the pharmacy is not necessarily drugs, like
It's
the medical. It's herbs or something, isn't it?
Well, in both cases, pharmaceuticals came from natural products, and
but they're not in their natural form, correct? Their whole form.
right, because they had to do it from a mass population standpoint,
And a
business
money-making.
standpoint. They re-engineered it.
Okay. Now, a homeopathy pharmacy is made up of?
Natural ingredients from the earth, basically.
In their whole form.
Some are in whole. Some
Okay.
are, you'll get remedies that have 2 parts to them or 3 parts to them
Okay.
that make
Okay.
that whole.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, what? I know you were trying to heal yourself. And what was it about homeopathy that drew you to it versus some of the other methodologies out there?
It was strange. I was pointed this way because I studied Kung Fu. My master was a Shaolin monk, and he's the one that said, well, why don't you try homeopathy? Because at that point I was changing careers, changing direction. And I said, well, what's that? And he said, well, go and...
Did you have asthma at the time, at this
Yes.
point? Okay. Okay. That must have really impacted your kung fu as well.
It was, in any sport or any exertion, it was definitely a challenge. But, I'm the type of person that ran cross country in high school, but, totally collapsed at the end.
So you just grin and bear it.
That was my life.
Okay, now, so the program that you do now where you're really getting people to get healthy,
Yep.
whether they're just suffering a little or maybe suffering from some serious debilitating illness, did you develop this program yourself after you became a homeopath?
Yes. I've developed it over the last 8 years, and basically I did it on myself. I was the first patient, and because of that, I wanted to see if I could duplicate it. And since then, I've been duplicating it over and over again. Out of the duplication, you become aware of what's really happening.
Yes.
Because recovering health, we don't really necessarily think about that in a way of that it happens.
So Dennis, what is unique? Because at the top we said that yours is a little different than
Yep.
traditional homeopathic doctors.
Yeah.
How do you?
All it really is an awareness of what happens. The remedies
Okay.
are the same.
Okay.
It's
okay.
how you use the remedies
Mhm.
and how long. Somebody comes in with me to me with some sort of disease state. I have to ask them, "Do you have 2 years to do this?
2 years.
To recover your health?" Because we're really running. We're getting the body to back up and treat itself.
And it takes
So it's gonna
2
take a
years.
while.
It takes 2 years to get the systems running properly.
Now, what if they don't have 2 years? What if you have? Do you ever have anyone who is critical, perhaps a cancer patient? Do
Yes.
you and maybe they've been given 6 months to live?
Right.
So what do you do in a situation like that?
I have to allow them to make that decision because really, there's really not much I can do at that point.
Because the homeopathic approach is more of a long-term approach than a critical care or
More
an
acute.
immediate fix-it-now kind of approach.
Well, it just depends on the homeopath. From my perspective, I recover health and I need time.
Hmm.
Okay. So, but having said that, even a person who perhaps has maybe 6 months to live, you can still help increase the quality of that 6 months, can you? Or is there nothing you can do?
Well, at that point, I say we can try what I do, but I do need at least a year to see change,
Yeah.
and 2 years to complete the change.
Yeah.
Now, well, how much is belief a factor? What if they come to you and they think, I believe I can kick this thing, so the 6 months perhaps can maybe buy me time for another 6 months? Have you seen things like that happen?
I have seen those things,
I guess miracles, I guess.
and I don't interpret them. I really can't. I don't know what's happened. I don't think anybody does. If the individual gets to the point where it's in remission.
Oh, that's true. Can go into remission, yes.
Yeah.
And
What-
have you seen that happen yourself?
No,
Okay.
not
okay.
no.
Okay.
Usually the outcome is the way that I see it.
Okay. So is it fair to say, sorry Hugh, do you have a question?
Of course I
Okay,
do, but
you
you
can
go.
go.
Ahead. Go.
Okay, one more question, and then it's yours. Is it fair to say, Dennis, that you use intuition in this? Is that what makes you more unique, perhaps, than just because it sounds to me like when you say that awareness factor, that you're bringing some intuition along the way?
I think it's like anything that you do in life. You just become experienced in seeing it.
Oh,
And once
okay.
you start seeing it over and over again, it really becomes more of a natural thing
Okay.
to eliminate, when a patient comes in, you usually, as a practitioner, you have to get through the shock value. This is what I have. They try and shock you. If you can see beyond that, that's only experience.
Okay.
So let's talk about the process. Somebody comes to see you. Typically, what kind of condition are they in? And then what is the process of taking them from whatever that, state of ill health is to being getting healthy again?
Right. I get everything. Anything that the body can produce as a response or an illness or whatever, that's what comes in the door. It also depends. There's a lot of things because I treat both sides. There's a very big mind emotional side of things to a disease state, as well as the physical. Okay, and really I have to consider what I'm looking at.
So you have to ask a lot of questions, and
I usually take about an hour and a half, and I usually have a pretty good picture
to
of
find
that
out what's
person.
going on, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? I mean,
Well,
I got a
then-
spiritual issue, but what should I take for that?
I don't. Again, I'm not interpreting spiritual issues
Okay.
because I think that's the individual,
Mhm.
right? All I'm trying to do is get the body to respond. When a person comes in that's ill, that means that their body's not responding.
Yes.
I just need that response.
Mm.
And
So who comes to see you? What kinds of issues do you deal with?
I get people with heart conditions,
Okay.
post and pre surgery. I get people with scoliosis. I get people that have been abused, have been in the middle of wars, all sorts of things.
So, and how about people who just want to maintain, or how about, do you deal with women who are pregnant who think, well, maybe when they find out they're pregnant, I want to go to build a stronger system, and they're not necessarily ill?
Yeah.
Do you get more? Do you get any people who are proactive rather than reactive? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yes. Usually, when it comes to that, they're coming in because they can't get pregnant.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And or they're thinking about children, and they want their body, you know,
In
running
shape. Okay.
at top form. If somebody comes in and is pregnant, I tell them to wait until after, because they're really, for me, their body
Okay.
is healthy. They've got, you know, they've
If
got
it
the
ain't broke.
processes. Yeah.
Okay.
And let's see what happens after the pregnancy.
Okay.
Okay.
So how about things like, okay, you know what, I just don't want to get a cold this winter, or a replacement for the flu vaccine. How about things like that? Do you do things like that?
Well, it's all the same thing. As my program works, the body becomes more efficient.
Okay.
Therefore, you get a better response.
Okay.
So in the case of a flu, usually if your body's not responding, you'll get 5 days that you live with the bacteria, and the bacteria lives with you, builds up a party center, you know, starts going, and then the next 5 days, the body goes, what's that?
the
We
heck
can't
is
have
this?"
the party here. And the body goes into, you know, like a crash mode, you know.
Kicking everybody out of the house.
Right. Fevers, aching, you know, you get leveled by it. And then the next 5 days after that is the recovery state.
Okay.
So if the person is of age, I'll tell them to go get the flu shot. If
When you
there's
say of age, you mean
children-
a senior, right?
A senior.
Okay.
yeah. And again, that's, you know, a huge debate on when are you a senior, right? At 50,
Yes.
60, 70, 90.
Well, since 70 is the new 50, probably when you're 100.
Yeah. We are living longer.
Yeah.
So it's more about response mechanism. If I have
Okay.
a sick kid that has a autoimmune problem going on, I'll tell them to go get the flu shot. Because you don't want their body to have to struggle with the flu at the same time.
So you really work in conjunction with traditional, or with the conventional, not traditional, but conventional medicine. Because there are some homeopaths that will say, no, don't
Right.
even get the flu shot.
Right.
It's toxic to your system.
Well, if I just go back to my own history, I was treated pharmaceutically by doctors. And for me, a lot of times that was life and death. And that was the medicine that got me through.
Okay.
So I can't
So
argue
there's a
that.
place for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, there's a place.
I like the approach. It's about working together and not in place of, but
Right.
working in tandem with.
There is no one right way, but if you use both systems, it can work beautifully, actually.
Okay.
Wow.
So again, you know, how is your practice different from, say, other homeopaths?
From the understanding and the program that I run.
Okay. No.
Most homeopaths aren't organized enough to understand the fact that it takes time for that body to heal. And the medical side too. Most doctors are treating things on acute, but they don't have the time and the time spent on understanding the fact that the body needs time to heal.
Well, and that's true too, because it is a bit of a shock when, you know, to come in and hear, okay, well, do you have 2 years? I mean, a lot of people, I think, as a homeopath or doctor that would say that would be afraid they'd lose their customer. So you don't want to say that.
That's right.
Right? So right off the top, you risk them going to somebody else who's not going to say that.
That's right.
Right?
Now, are there still do you still encounter a lot of people that are maybe not really aware of what homeopathy is, or I mean, you're willing to work with conventional doctors and the medical system, but what about doctors? Do you encounter doctors or people in the medical profession that are a little reticent to deal with homeopaths?
That's a two-part question. Yes, most people don't know what homeopaths are. We've been around for 200 years. We got the worst PR ever.
You need to hire a good PR team.
That's right. But it's on the flip side. Doctors are so busy they can't even consider anything else other than what they're doing. They are overworked.
Okay.
So it seems like it would be another department or that would try to bring all these integrative type medicines.
It's starting
modalities
slowly.
together.
The Ontario government has done a wonderful job of trying to integrate a lot of different types of options for people.
But it's still not covered by OHIP, and it's still not covered by people's.
I don't think that the
plans.
government wants to be in OHIP anymore. So
Yeah.
I think that my personal view is that they want to get out of it.
Yeah. So if anything, it's going to go the other way.
Which means that we're all going to be responsible for our health,
Right.
which is what we really should be anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And people can maybe start to think about taking a more long-term
Yes.
approach to health rather than dealing with sickness in an acute way.
Yeah. And if it does come up, then there's options.
Okay. What else do we need to know about this, Dennis, that maybe we haven't asked you about?
I know
that,
one. There's no side effects, right?
That
don't
is
know.
the popular belief.
Uh-oh. Shatter my image.
It's homeopathy has had the idea that there are no side effects. There are side effects.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
When I treat somebody, I look for the side effects because they're clues to the health. Side effects are
Okay.
only response.
Okay.
And that's what the body's telling you.
So in this way, the side effect is a tool then
Yes.
to help you determine.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So is the flu. When a patient
Okay.
gets flu, I ask them how the flu has come on to them, beginning, middle, and end.
Oh, okay.
Usually the end will tell me what else is going on.
That's interesting. So side effects are indications.
Pain is the best indicator that the body can give us that something's going on.
Interesting.
We want
Wow.
to take something to take away the pain while you take away the response of the body.
Interesting.
Okay. Now your website is cureme.ca,
Yes.
and again, the people who are watching, who are the people that should really consider getting in touch with you?
Anybody that has an idea that their health is going to be an issue and or is an issue.
So even if someone is feeling well, can you make them more healthy?
We can have a discussion around whether it's necessary or not.
Okay.
Realistically, it takes a long time to get this done,
Yeah.
and the sooner somebody does it, the better off they'll be. But again, a healthy person doing a healthy lifestyles, and
Not really needing it.
right, you can always it's there as an option at any point that they need
Yeah.
it.
Well, and people know when they're feeling some sort of irritation or illness or symptoms.
But I think the idea, too, is to not wait till it gets too far, right?
Well, you can always assume that, but I'd rather, people know. As an individual, I know when I'm sick. And I know what I need to do that. Before I started this, I knew when I was sick. I knew the cycle that I would go through.
Wow, interesting.
Okay. So, well, thanks for coming in, Dennis.
Well, thank you. It was
uh,
very educational.
And again, the website cureme.ca, and so if you need to get in touch, there's Dennis right there. So thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for that information.
Now we're going to come back in a couple of minutes with Danny Gayle, piano player and
Yay.
interviewer, and we got some video of Danny right now. We're going to check that out and come back with Danny live
I think I still
here
have to
on
make a
Like Lunch.
request. It better not be happy birthday. Go figure.
the show there was a little bit of Danny Gayle, and we've got Danny Gayle actually joining us here, playing in the background right now live. Danny.
Boy, you just can't stop him.
Let's hear a little bit of room volume so we can hear what you're playing there.
I'm not hearing anything right now.
Yeah, we need to turn it up. There we go. So Danny, okay, so let's see now. This is sort of like a little bit of a sample of what you do every Thursday.
I gotta say, by the way, this is a beautiful view. We're up on the 79th floor, right?
That's right.
This is fantastic.
Right downtown Toronto.
And how is it? I just came in from Bay and Dundas, but I'm looking at the Vancouver skyline. Wow.
That's not Vancouver.
It looks like Vancouver.
Maybe some of it's Vancouver, but not all of it.
And it's summertime. It's summertime too.
Well, it's
in
sunny.
in February.
You don't see any green grass out there.
No, and we don't see any snow either.
That's right.
Falling.
It's not snowing. It's nice and sunny today. Anyway, Danny, great to have you on the show here. Now, so you're doing this thing on a regular basis up at the Minto.
The Minto Jazz Lounge every Thursday.
Yeah. Now, where is that?
It's in the Yonge and Shepherd area of Toronto, North York.
It's 23 Shepherd Avenue East, right? Okay.
Now, you played all over the place, including Korea, I understand. North or south?
Well, north is basically, it's a one-way ticket. You go there. It's a pretty long show. It's pretty much indefinite.
But
unless you're playing for the president, which would be great.
And you don't get to come home from that?
I haven't actually been to North Korea yet, but maybe one day I'll sneak in and we'll make an interesting story.
But you've been to South Korea?
Yeah, amazing place.
Funny people?
Really fun. Everybody has a great sense of humor, and I do a lot of comedy when I play there. I play piano and do comedy. It's fantastic.
Really? So now, do you speak Korean?
한국말 조금 합니다. 이번에 출시된 타이틀은 정말 몸을 좋습니다.
Does that mean yes?
그럼 그날은 그 많은 학생 다 모죠. You know what I mean? Doesn't everybody feel that way?
Sandra speaks Korean. She can translate.
I've been here 3 minutes and I'm getting heckled by the audience.
Already?
No. And it's one of the staff. No, but everybody's great here. This is a really cool setup. I'm having a great time.
Well, do you know any Korean jokes?
Yeah, I do know one, but
was that it?
Kind of sensitive, but I do impressions.
You do?
Yeah.
That's very surprising, Danny.
Yeah. Really good. I do an impression of everything but a comedian. No, but 이번에 출시된 다이어트 콜라는 정말 몸에 좋습니다. 그럼 그 안에 든 그 많은 학생분은 다 뭐죠?
Are we laughing now? Are we supposed to laugh?
I think so. I mean, the other thing, aside from the incredible skyline view, the other thing that's amazing is, I don't know if this is electronic, but you've actually replicated the feel of a show I did last week. You have the exact same audience here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
and so they didn't understand Korean either.
Well, no, just nobody.
That was a very funny joke. I'm sure they're all laughing in Korea.
Trying to.
Okay, wait, I have a different question, Danny. When was the piano invented?
I don't know the exact year, but
same question.
Historically, I've studied history, and I could tell you why the piano was created.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because basically the guitarist needed a place to put his beer, so the piano was leveled and stands and worked really well.
Where's your beer?
Are we on delay here?
Yeah, but we're going to put it on super delay.
Yes. I think we're in slow mode.
We're in phase right out of time here.
Okay.
We're on 5D now. So yeah, actually your piano is very flat. That would be great to put a beer on.
Yeah.
Which is why you play at the lounges too, right?
Yeah, well, all over the place. Played all sorts of places. I played, actually not too far from here, Indigo Bookstore. Has a little baby grand piano.
Oh, so when you go to play at these places, you don't bring your own piano? You use theirs?
Yeah, I try. I try to find places.
I mean, if you can get it, no, you don't want to be carting a grand piano around, even if it's a baby grand, right, Danny?
Yeah,
I thought you brought this.
As much as I enjoy knocking people down and having people curse and yell at me on the subway carrying this.
Well, this was actually not bad. It's big, but it's pretty light. But I've seen. I mean, have you ever actually moved a regular piano?
Yes, little heavier than this.
It's not a one-person job.
If it's got wheels, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So when you do play places that have their own piano, do you find it's different because every piano has a different sound? Does it affect what you play?
No, I still sound lousy.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Basically.
That was funny.
Every play, yeah. Okay. Is this thing on? Is this thing okay? Yeah. Basically, I mean, every place has a certain kind of sound, and so you can have some places where it's like a beat-up piano that hasn't been tuned for like 20 years. It sounds great. And other places, the piano's new and it doesn't sound as good.
Really? So sometimes a piano that's not tuned sounds better than pianos that are.
Yeah. Of course, the digital are always going to sort of be broken down to the same way in terms of sound, so it'll come on even. So that's the nice thing about acoustic pianos, with all the strings and pulleys and all these. Each piano has their own sort of sound, so it's not bad in that way.
So part of what you do that's really unique about you is you actually just kind of play as you're talking to people. Is that what you do?
Oh yeah, and I mean it allows me. I can take requests. I can chat with them and just go over whatever people want to go over.
So okay, I would think. Sorry, you have a question?
Well, I was going to say, because Danny, weren't you considering doing maybe some kind of a show where you're actually playing the piano and interviewing people at the same time?
Yeah, I was thinking that concept. Instead of like a desk or a couch, just have like a piano.
Yeah.
Just something like this, just play, because this is usually how it is, like at the hotels or the parties, we'll just chat and play some different things. Just take it sort of like that.
That's a really cool concept because, when you're playing with the music in the background, you feel more comfortable in talking for whatever reason.
It's great.
It kind of loosens you up.
Yeah, people always want to talk to you. People always have all sorts of requests, and there's a lot of popular requests that seem to come often.
Like what? Like I would think Billy Joel would be the most popular.
Yeah, New York State of Mind, Where's the Washroom?
Oh yeah,
Don't Say
can you
Anymore.
play Where's the Washroom?
All
That's
those
my
are
request
very
for you. In Korean.
이 화장실 어디 있습니까?
Can you sing? Do you sing too?
연연한 사람 단지 바보만 사랑을 한다 내가 곁에 머물까
It's Elvis gone Korean.
이것이 music is great. It's international.
No, Dan, I heard you're going to the UK. Does that mean you're going to have to learn English?
Basically, yeah. Because I don't know what we're speaking here. I think we're some kind
Well,
of
it sounded
grammar.
like you were like an Elvis Korean Elvis. That's what I sounded like. So you really do impersonations with different dialects. This
Yeah.
is what Elvis would sound like in Korea.
Do you guys speak any other languages?
Oh, a little bit of French.
I don't.
Because I know I haven't been
Unilingual.
in Canada that long, but it's great to be a place that's multilingual. So I'm learning a bit of the other official language. So obviously I can speak English, and I think my Chinese is getting a little bit better.
So do you do Frank Sinatra or Tony Bennett?
Who are they? No,
Those who I would think you would be requested.
but I like to do blues is kind of sometimes like a dying art.
Okay.
But what do you guys like to listen to yourself?
You go first, Dan. I like rock music.
I would think Elton John. I would like Elton John.
Any particular favorites? Have you seen the concert? That's a really...
I hear he's amazing in concert. He is the total package, eh?
Yeah, I think it's people enjoy it. People seem to enjoy it for sure.
Yeah.
And Billy Joel's always that's a concert you'll never be disappointed at.
Billy Joel?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
And
He just gives it all. Like being a musician, I've had a chance to work with a lot of really fantastic people. I don't know. Obviously, you've heard of Diana Krall. You've heard of
Yes.
George Benson.
Yes.
I haven't actually worked with any of them yet, but I mean, one day.
After they see
Right.
the show, they're going to be calling you.
Let's hope so. I hear they watch it. One of their
I heard
favorite shows.
Diana Krall's married to Elvis Costello.
Oh, he would be another one to get requests. He's amazing. I like him.
Who's that?
Elvis Costello?
Yeah, that's right. Diana Krall's husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got some interesting tunes. That would
Every
be
day
really
I write
nice.
the book. I remember that from
Oh, can you do that one?
junior high.
Do you know that song?
No, I don't know that one. I know. Do you know where the washroom is? But no, usually I'm like, if there's something I don't know, some guys can just sort of create by ear and just come out and play something really, really different and fantastic. I'll usually say, do you know the chords? So if somebody asks for a complicated sort of piano classical piece, they don't have chords. So if you look at the chord sheet, just look at what are they? Okay, this is in G minor. Okay, let's work it out and just sort of go with it. Okay. This is in G. Gymnopédie is in D. Just work it out. And by the way, I don't think we need copyright. I think there's a rule.
What is that song? I don't even know what that song is.
But it's nice.
I've heard it before.
When something is, you know, like an old song, there's no copyright. I think when it's like 100 years old.
So that song was really appropriate, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to ask you to play Let It Be.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have this up again?
Is the sound on?
Do you want to sing?
No, I don't. I'll sing in the background with you. Are you not singing?
You? You're not going to take this one?
Don't know the words.
Sing it, Danny.
She said, I don't know the words. Do you know the words to this one?
No. Too bad Val wasn't here. She would know.
Where's Val today?
I don't know. Val, where are you? Max, where are you?
So, Danny, what are you going to be doing when are you going to the UK, and what's that all about?
It's in the spring, and I'm going to premiere a new style called Angry Young Jazz, which is just a very fast form of jazz I came up with, which is where everything sort of moves quickly and in a lot of 1/4/5, 2/5/1, super high speed kind of feel.
Angry Young Jazz. That sounds really, really interesting.
The old style is going away. Like now everything is so electronic, and I always think anything that can be done electronically
Yes,
can be still done with the piano. That's where everything comes from, pretty much, is from the piano.
Because it's got all those notes, right? There's like 88 notes.
88 keys.
88 keys.
Yeah.
Danny, do you like the black notes better or the white notes? I myself prefer the black notes.
Black notes are always fun.
I like a combination.
Sir McLaughlin does Angel. It's a lot of black notes.
And Dan, did you say you are not you're not from Canada originally?
No, I'm from. I don't know if you've heard of Thornhill. They're trying to become part of Canada, but it's kind of a different culture, different language where I grew up.
Okay.
Thornhill,
so
Ontario.
Do you speak Thornian? Like what language?
Was that like a digital drum roll there?
Yeah.
What language do you speak in Thornhill?
There's all sorts of different languages. They have their own sort of dialect.
They do, eh?
Yeah. It's a
I
great
thought
place to grow up.
I thought you sounded like you had an accent.
I've been told seriously that I have a Canadian accent. Like, what is that?
It's where you speak properly. The way it should be spoken, where you say the letters the way they're supposed to be said.
Absolutely.
Without any accent. That's a Canadian
And where you replace
way.
the question mark with A. That's the way. That's proper English.
Do people still use A?
Oh my God.
I use it as much as I can.
Absolutely.
Sometimes more than I should.
And proud of it.
So no, seriously, Dan, what got you into doing this, the piano? Were you learning it, playing it from when you were a kid? Were you drawn to the piano as a child?
Was actually I started off singing, and singing lessons were really expensive, and they're just doing a lot of scales all the time. So I thought if I get a cheap little keyboard, I could probably play the scales. It's simple enough. Sing and then spend my money more effectively when I go to a vocal coach. So I had this digital piano in my place. I couldn't play a simple melody. And then I lost my job, my girlfriend, and I learned the blues.
And then you started to write songs.
Yeah. When you have a lot else to do, you kind of acclimate pretty quickly. So it was a fun time. No, it's just a great way to go out and meet all sorts of interesting people, and come on talk shows, in Toronto where you're looking at Vancouver. No, but where is that?
That's actually Thornhill.
That's Toronto.
What, like?
You see, that's the One King. That's
Is
One
that-
King West. Is what you see there, and you can see the Scotia Tower there, the reddish color, and that is the KPMG building behind Sandra there.
Are people always waving from the windows?
They love being on the show.
Great, fantastic.
So Dan, okay, so you're playing up every Thursday up at the Minto Piano Lounge. What's the address there for people who want to come out?
It's 23 Shepherd East, and it's free show, but I recommend if anybody wants a reservation.
When I hear that term "free show,"
Uh-oh.
I've got a whole picture going through my head.
Of?
No, not of.
Well,
Okay.
whatever goes on off camera, I don't know. I'm just basically
What
did this interview.
goes, what happens on Liquid Lunch stays on Liquid Lunch.
Okay.
Did we explain,
It's
by the way,
rare-
we're both wearing black hats, and I don't know if he should tell you this because you've been working together, but I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I'm going to break it down for the audience. Hugh and I, we have huge afros, and so we just don't want to show it.
That's right.
That's what it comes down to.
She got.
We're not middle-aged guys hiding
There.
hairlines. We
That's
got huge
right.
hat.
afros.
Thank you,
That's
Dan.
the basic.
Thanks for
Now I
explaining
feel
that.
like I'm one of the guys.
You have to get the afro.
We're gonna have to take you out and get your hair permed afterwards, because me and Dan were,
Oh.
got the kinky thing going on.
Well, that's
okay,
a different kind
okay.
of show.
I have to-
I don't think so.
It's rare that I'm that speechless, but I was that speechless 2 minutes ago. It was a really good segue for me to go get the hat.
Okay, all right.
But no, so what are you up to now? Where are you going now? What's Danny Boy doing now?
Probably going to Young and Bluer, maybe chapters.
No, but UK? You're
Books,
doing the
take a look
UK?
at some stuff. Yeah, I'm hoping to play at the Vortex as the premiere spot, but a couple spots down there, and premiere the Sangre Young Jazz. And,
Okay.
I wanted to sort of do it outside, and I just think with the audiences, it might have a different sort of different kind of feedback in Europe, and so explore that, see where that goes.
So you want to head out to Europe?
That's
You're
great.
probably well received out there, especially with your sense of humor.
And then we can
Ireland, you gotta
Skype
go to
interviews
Ireland.
from there.
And any other?
But you know what the thing is? I was in Pride and Prejudice, and I had to learn a Manchester accent. But can you guys differentiate between the different accents?
No.
Because I heard that's
No.
a great way to get your ass kicked. Go do like a British accent in Yorkshire when you're doing Manchester or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, or don't do a London accent in Wales, or you get cottage burned down.
You know what? I watch Coronation Street. I can't understand those people. Okay, there's a couple of those characters that their accent is so thick, even the other actors apparently can't understand
It's
them.
very interesting. On the episode, I was going to the house, and basically his aunt, his cousin was walking through the door, and then
Exactly.
there's things in steering about in the yard. He's got stuff signed up, and it goes like right there and goes back and forth. And I can't understand that.
Exactly.
How can you not understand that? That's the whole premise.
Okay.
Great episode.
All right, Danny. So we're just about out of time, but if people want to get in touch, maybe they want to book you for a gig or something like that. Is there a website or online place they can go check it out?
Angry Young Jazz on YouTube. The only guy in the world that does it.
Angry Young Jazz on YouTube. Okay.
Wow.
All right, Dan. Thanks for doing
Email
this.
cityscape@excite.com.
All right. Okay. Thanks. We're gonna watch this other video from you, and then we're gonna come back with Kathy Trew from Vancouver Island talking about Reiki and other cool stuff. Okay,
See, I
we'll
really have a
be
square
right back.
head. Square head.
I was engaged. Who's that? This is much nicer.
Okay, well, we're back on the show here, and we've got Kathy Trew joining us from Vancouver Island. And Kathy, it's we've been trying to set this interview up for a long time, haven't we?
We have. So it's nice to finally get to talk to you.
It's still morning there, maybe not.
Oh, no.
It's
It's around
now,
12.
almost noon, right?
It's 12, and let's discuss the weather first, because Canadians always love to do that. It's piss and rain here, and it will be until the end of February.
Well, I'd rather the
Right.
rain than the snow.
Well, see, I don't know why you moved out there out west, Kathy. You had a perfectly good home near Port Colborne, Ontario, near Reeves Bay.
Yeah, oh,
right?
thank you. That's right.
Wainfleet.
Yes, I did.
Huh?
Wainfleet. Yeah, that's right. Oh, my. Why did I come out here a long time ago? Go west, young man and woman, apparently, because I've been out here for a long time. But if you guys have ever been to Vancouver Island, you would know why.
Well, okay. Well, I haven't been out there. I've been to Vancouver, but not Vancouver Island. But anyway, let's get talking about what you do, the kind of work that you do. Because you work as a Reiki. Tell us what you do. Give us the rundown.
Please tell me how long I have.
Okay.
Oh, we got at least 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. All right. So I'm a Reiki master from the Usui method, which is what most people come through. That's the door most people come through. But I've channeled a whole other Reiki system that is called Gaia Reiki system, and it is to help heal the earth, but it also helps everybody. Right? And it's a very individualized and powerful Reiki. In normal Reiki, there's maybe up to 10 symbols that you use. In my Reiki, I know it's going to sound bizarre, there's like 26,000 symbols, and I gathered them myself. I am called a living library, and so I channel lots, and I was told to go hike up the mountains, kayak in the wilderness, all sorts of things, and I would see things, and they would represent some sort of symbol, and down they would come, and I knew that they entered my system by the sound that I make. I would go into books on crystals and herbs, just alternative healing, all sorts of things, and up they went. Then I was told that I had to take all this information and put it up in the etheric so that other people could connect to it, and that I did with myself and 4 other friends, and now it's up there. So when I pass on Gaia Reiki attunements, what happens is that person connects to what I call the energy basket, and they get what suits them. So because we're all different, we all connect differently to the earth and to spirit, and this way everybody gets exactly what they need to take the next step and hopefully help heal the earth. So from that energy, Gaia Reiki, there's actually like 250 Reikis that have come down through Usui. So that's all very interesting. But from that, I also put together 2 other kinds of Reiki. And one is for caregivers, because I used to be a nurse, and that's really, really important to me. And the other one is for animals. And that's one of the reasons I'm talking to you now, because I started a project at the beginning of December to send out distant animal healing to rescue centers. And I'm working in Australia, New Zealand, and in the U.S. And it's mostly with horses, but not only. And the results have been very, very, very positive. I just love it. And it's because this Reiki is just so powerful. So the other thing that's been happening with the animal healing is that there's been people that I have taught below me, and their energies are also merging with mine as far as the animal Reiki goes. And so that animal Reiki is just very, very powerful. And, you know, I get some pretty sick animals. When I send a healing, I can't be attached to what happens, and believe me, that's not an easy thing. But so I just send it, and there were 3 horses that had liver damage, and I thought, oh, okay. Anyways, I just sent it, and they're all on the road to recovery. So I send this animal healing to all these places for free, and all people have to do is send me the name of the animal, and I would like a pic, but I don't actually need one. And I need somebody to be a contact person to just tell me what's going on with that animal. I go energetically with my energy to that animal's energy, and animals have chakras, by the way. I clear their chakras, align their chakras, and then kind of encode them in a healing love. And then every day after that initial consultation, so to speak, I energize a basket that they're all in. And right now there must be like, I don't know, 50 in there. And what people mostly see is that the horse or the dog, whatever the animal is more content being that animal. Because most of the animals got to be in the shelter. They have post-traumatic shock, basically, just like the rest of us. Now, how's that for a mouthful? So I'm looking to connect to rescue places. I first offered this to the SPCA, but it's difficult because there's a lot of paperwork involved, and you have to work alongside of a veterinarian to do that. So because I'm not alongside any vets, I do it from my home, that didn't work. So that's why I thought about the animal rescue places. And like I say, that's going really, really well. So I would encourage anybody that has an animal that has been, been through shock and things like that, to contact me at trewbelievers.com, and my name is spelled Trew, Believers. And I will get back to them and tell them the time that the healing was sent, and then we kind of just watch. Sometimes it takes 2 hours, sometimes 2 days. It all depends how much stuff has to shift. Now, I know, Sandra, you're an energy worker, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, see, I studied up about you guys.
Uh-oh.
I hope not too carefully.
I was trying to figure out, what I could talk about on your show. But you have some pretty interesting and bizarre things, so I thought, okay, I could talk about anything.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
I got a question for you, Kathy. Since you talk about Gaia,
yes,
Reiki,
yes,
and tell us a little bit about that. Like, I mean, how do you what needs to be healed with regards to the planet? And I mean, I'm thinking in terms of we got earthquakes happening. We have the nuclear meltdown in Japan, releasing radiation all over the place. I mean, what are the kinds of things that need to be healed about the Earth, and how do you do it?
Oh my gosh, well, that's a big question. We have to use the Earth grid, and do you know what you understand what the Earth grid is?
Oh yeah, the pyramids.
Yeah.
and the ley lines.
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, right now there's been a lot of people that have been working to kind of reestablish the ley lines, and like I have a friend that just went to Egypt, to the pyramids, and did a crystal grid there, and it's like there's a whole tons of people, and on Vancouver Island there's lots of people that are working with the grid and empowering the grid. A lot of the crap that's happened to the Earth, we've done, right? I get sent to areas that have been logged, mined, and I sit there and boom, the energy just flows through me, right? Well, I mean, it's multi-layered, but energy-wise, we can connect to the grid and help empower that grid to hold the Earth in a little more stable position, right? And the more of us that connect to the grid, the more of us there are that also receive from the grid, because that's where my stuff is. All these symbols, they're in the grid, and people can access them.
So how do you connect to the grid? When you
with
say,
your
go ahead.
with your intention. your intention is very, very, very powerful, and you know that, Sandra, right?
Mm-hmm.
All different. I have a couple modalities of healing, and some of them they contradict one another. And I'm being guided by Archangel Michael. That's one of them, but there's many. I'm also being guided by Gaia. I lost track of what I was doing because somebody tried to phone me there.
So how do you connect to the grid? How can anybody connect to the grid at any time, anywhere?
Well, not everybody can. You can start. There's also different levels of connecting to the grid.
Okay.
I mean, you got to really ground down and up and use your intention. It's almost like a prayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll know when you're connected because you feel that little tinkle going through your body, and I'm sure you felt that, Sandra. You can feel the energy moving through your body.
Mm-hmm.
You've felt that before. I don't know if you has, but I would imagine that little tinkle.
I think Hugh has when he's had a little bit of alcohol. That might do it.
No, that just deadens it, Sandra.
No, it doesn't.
No, alcohol just deadens the sensation.
No, it
I do
doesn't.
not
No
recommend
more.
it for
Okay.
light workers like you.
Well, I
No
don't
alcohol for you.
So all the light workers connect to the grid because they've learned how to work with energy, right?
Okay, wait, I got a question for you, Kathy, because I heard, here's what I heard, that when, like the Millennium Dome in London that they built for the, I don't know, whatever they built it for, is actually a control, it's the new, because I heard Stonehenge was the control panel for the pyramids, but that the new Millennium Dome was the new control panel that Tony Blair and George Bush were trying to take over the Earth grid. And now, what is that, Pacific Coliseum there in Vancouver? Looks like it's is a HARP device designed to usurp the Earth grid. Comments?
I don't have any comments on that because I've not seen the picture. But the mountains work here for me. I mean, I sit and look at those mountains, and I've been sent up into the mountains, and I just stand there, and boom, it happens. And I'm going to let you hear what happens, okay?
Okay.
I'm clear sentient, which means energy moves through me and by my throat. I'm very gruntle, is that the word? Kind of like the Eskimos. And so when I am channeling love and healing, and I hope you can hear this, it sounds like this.
Whoa, boy, you knocked our system offline almost.
Hey, I carry a lot of energy. I was swimming in the pool in Welland one time working on my blocks. And I swam and I swam and I swam because that's how I moved the block, and it wasn't working. And then I said, for crying out loud, move this. And the power went out in the pool. And I swam over to the side and I said, what happened? She said, I don't know. We had a real big energy surge come through here.
Really? What pool
Yes,
is that?
At the Y in Welland.
Oh,
Wow.
downtown.
No, it's not. Well, I don't think it's downtown. It's over by the college.
Well, that's the new one.
I guess it's the new one. I don't know. I was there for 3 winters because I was taking care of my mom.
Oh,
So
I see. That was recent. That was before. See, that was after I left town.
Yeah, and so a lot of
Energy surge after you left town.
a lot of the symbols I got here, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just, my intuition and my guides just kept saying, you are like a living library. You gather all these things. You don't necessarily have to know. You don't have to use all those modalities. You gather them. And when I was home in Ontario taking care of my mom, then it kind of dawned on me that this is a Reiki system. And then I said, well, okay, what do you want to call it? And it was February, and there was she lives right by Lake Erie, so there was all these big ice hills, and I got directed to the edge of the ice hill, and I looked over, and there was a cave with like a crystalline goddess in it, and I said, oh, it's Gaia. Is that what you want me to call this? And that's how it got his name.
Wow.
I guess her name. Yes, it's quite fun following your intuition, and I know that Sandra, as a healer, you do learn to do that, right?
Absolutely.
And so I was also guided to make an interactive tool in the form of pendulum charts. And I've used a pendulum for many, many years. It's dowsing. I mean, that's the fancier word for
And
it.
Kathy, I know you're holding up the pendulum. I've got some of these charts that you mailed me here, right? Including
another one.
Including this one, the sexual ecstasy chart.
Okay, so you've got the sexual ecstasy.
Right?
I've got manifest joy, and this one is introduction, and that one's key to relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know, and you know what? Since that one, I've downloaded another one called Attracting Abundance, and it tells you where you're blocked and basically how it shows up and what you have to do to get rid of it. So, who wants to work on the sexual ecstasy and balance chart?
Okay,
guys?
that would be Hugh.
No, Sandra does.
Okay, Hugh, there you go. You have a pendulum. I don't even have a pendulum on me.
I don't
Well,
know.
Hugh, you do.
Oh, wait, I do.
Yes, you do. I know you do.
Okay. It can be anything, right?
I don't.
Kathy?
It can be any necklace, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we lose her?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I look like a gaoul.
I was going to do the hi.
Okay, let's not do that one, though.
Okay.
It's a family show.
Oh,
Okay.
You've looked at that chart. There's nothing there.
Let's do
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
how about the introduction? Should that?
Oh,
seems-
I don't want to use the energy
What?
chart. That's
How
for
about
you to
manifest
take.
joy?
How about the sexual ecstasy? Come
Okay,
on,
okay.
Okay, Sandra, here you
It's
go.
really not.
Okay, if
You
I
do
u-
it.
if I
Okay,
do,
do
it,
it.
can I use his necklace though? Because it's not my necklace. I don't have a necklace.
Listen, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the reading. Okay, I will use the pendulum
Good,
here.
a
Over.
Oh, okay. Are you,
Don't worry about that. You guys can play with those at another time.
okay. Okay.
So, well, we can do because you've looked at the charts. There's nothing that's X-rated on those
Yeah,
charts. I
it's fine.
titled it that so that it's kind of interesting, right? So
Right.
first of all, Sandra, I'm going to line up with your energy, okay?
Okay.
And no, I'm going to be making noises here, okay?
Okay.
I sound like a chicken. Okay, and now I'm going to ask how many blocks we can move from Sandra right
Okay.
now around sexual stuff, and there's
Okay.
4. Okay?
Okay.
And so
That's
the
all?
first so it says that she's a little disenchanted with the whole thing.
Yeah,
okay?
you wonder why.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
of guys like me.
Yeah. And the other one, that this disenchantment has affected her self-esteem. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And that you're a little frustrated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wonder why.
Yeah. And that you're isolating yourself from the various.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Okay. So now I'm going to move those 4 blocks. So I
Okay.
want your feet are on the ground, right? You know how to
Okay.
ground, right?
Yes. They're
And
on
I
the
want
ground.
you to pay attention as to what's going on in your body because
Okay.
I'm hoping that you're going to feel it. Most people do. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Two of What'd you feel? Sandra, what'd
What
you
did
feel?
I? Oh, sorry, I was out there.
I know. Yeah.
Now you're really going to be out there.
I actually felt an opening and I felt a calm.
Yeah.
But I did feel the energy go through me before that, before I reached that opening and that calm.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you connect, my energy's working with you.
Yes,
So,
actually, I can still feel it now. Actually, I can
Yeah,
still feel it
yeah,
now.
yeah. It's that nice tingly little thing. And yes, they did open some things and they moved some things. And it said three of the blocks have to do with society. Okay. It's so
I
what
blame
you've
society.
taught, all that education system, religion, and everything like that. But then the pendulum flipped over to the top, and that means that it's acid light issue. So you had 1, but they
Past life issue.
yeah
Oh, okay.
carried on to this life, right?
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Now the last thing I'm going to do before I'm finished with you is that this is like a magical principle. When we ask these blocks to move, and know it's kind of like a funnel, and I pulled the plug, right? And so for the next little while, you have to drink lots and know that water,
Water.
and know that your body is detoxing. And so I want you to say, I ask and allow these blocks to move.
I ask and allow these blocks to move, and here's my water.
Yeah. But now I'm also going to send love down to kind of fill those energy spaces.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
So now, here we go.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You felt it? You felt the love?
I did, actually. I did.
I know.
I felt joy.
I know. This stuff is so cool. And, you know, once in a while I bump into, most of my friends are like me. A little spinny, I suppose. But we're so full of joy and life. Oh, my gosh. And sometimes I meet somebody that is so heavy with all of their guilt and their blame and all that shit, right? And it's just so unnecessary. But you still have this is kind of like a miracle, but you still have to work on it.
Okay, so am I ready to meet my twin flame now?
He's calling right now. That's him. He's just that block really
works
out of the way. Out of the way.
Okay, so I'm going to ask how many months it's going to be until you meet your twin flame.
Okay.
The chart's going, it's going round and round. It went to 20 months.
How many? 20?
So
20 months? 2 years?
Yeah. No. It's about 18 months.
Okay, a year and a half. Okay.
So
all right.
That's a small price to pay.
You have some work to do.
Ah!
But you are going to be, it's just going to appear in front of you, whatever it is that you need to do.
Okay, perfect.
I think you understand how that works.
Yes.
You get drawn to something and know that is something you have to learn. I mean, when I was downloading the information for all these charts, I would go to the library with my pendulum, and it would spin like this in front of books around a certain title. Say it would be anger, and I would take those books home and read them, and I'd hold the pendulum, and whenever it came to something that it wanted, and this is Archangel Michael, it would swing. And I would write it down, and I would condense it and condense it and condense it until it could go on these pendulum charts.
Wow, nice. You've done a wonderful job on these charts. They're amazing.
Well, my brother, Dennis Goosen, I'll put a plug in for him. He was the one that designed them. I gave him the information. And he said, listen, these charts have got to help people. Don't just tell them they're messed up. There's got to be something there that they can do to move, to shift things a bit, right?
Can you fix me now, Kathy?
Well, I'm going to say
one more thing. It's all about you. It's all about you.
Well, you got fixed already.
Yeah, but you
listen. I'm so excited because there is an Australian Psychic Society, and I just signed on with them to sell my charts in Australia, and they are coming to the States, and they're going to be working out in Naples, Florida. So, I mean, I made these charts 6 years ago, and yeah.
Okay, so work on you. He needs help. I think he's got more than 4 blocks.
Not in the sexual ecstasy, because I'm doing fabulous in that department.
No, we're going to use this chart. I'm sorry. It's okay. Nothing will come up.
Can't we use, no, seriously, can we do a different thing?
Yeah, we can. How about attracting abundance in
Okay,
your life?
that's sure.
Chart, okay?
Is
so, let me see. I'm just,
joy?
Hugh, you need to ground yourself.
My feet are on the ground.
Okay. All right. So now I'm connecting. I'm connecting to your energy. I want you to feel what's going on in your body, okay? Okay, let's see how many blocks they're going to let us. Everybody can have more blocks, but I can only release what they say, and sometimes it's one, and then more come down after that. Well, my dear, for attracting abundance, so abundance to me is not money. It can be money, but it's everything. It's all that joy. It's all the stuff that makes us want to have a hop in our step. And you have 6.
6 blocks?
Well, things that need to be shifted.
Oh, okay, good.
And I don't need to know, the charts show what they are, but I don't even need to know what they are. I'm going to start moving them. And can we do them? Okay. So you pay attention, and here we go. You kind of had the same thing. You had society and you had some past life stuff. Did you feel that anywhere?
Yeah, I felt a few things. I felt some sort of like spasms and different, like a pain in sort of the back of my head and
Wow. Sounds like you really had stuff shifted.
Yeah.
And I'm still feeling some stuff.
I know. Yeah. No. Well, yeah. It's going to take a while for that. That's why you kind of have. I'm glad I'm coming at the end of the program because you may be tired. The other thing that happens to people is they fall asleep on me when I'm doing this. So that's kind of what I do, and so I can do that anywhere in the world, right? And that's kind of a Reiki distant healing thing, but it's also all that more powerful because I've tapped into this Gaia Reiki thing, right? And I'm looking, of course, for people to teach this.
So can you answer when Hugh will attract more abundance? Can you give a timeline at all?
Well, I'm going to ask how many months. Well,
okay.
But the thing about abundance is you have to acknowledge that you already have abundance too.
Right. And I think Hugh, you do that. He already have abundance, but that's why I said more.
Yeah, I know. They said 10 months, but they're...
Oh, he's got like half the time of me.
I know, but you asked for a twin flame.
You're a hard nut to crack.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
I have twice the work. Is that what you're saying? I have twice the work to do.
Well, I can't help it. No, I think that you, because you're already a healer, they're expecting more out of you, right?
Oh.
It's like
I have more responsibility, Hugh.
Yeah, the higher you go, the deeper you have to go, right?
Ouch.
And so I'm going to do one other thing, because on a scale of 1 to 10, have you guys ever heard, oh no, I forgot his name, the guy that wrote Power versus Force?
Force? Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
David Hawkins.
David Hawkins, he put everything on a scale, and he put truth on a scale. Well, before I even saw that book, I had done that.
Okay.
And I had done that with openness to spirit, right?
Okay.
It took a long time to figure that out. And then they gave me, and then Spirit said, well, here's a book over here. And I said, well, why didn't you just give me the book? And they said, you wouldn't own it.
Yeah,
okay, so
true.
what I'm going to ask now is how open to spirit you are, Sandra. And I ask on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
And most of the world is 1 to 4. You have to be a 5 before you even begin to realize that there's any sort of connection.
Okay.
Spirit. And you were, and it's going to go over. It's going to go over 10 because you're 20. And I'm going to up you if that's okay. You want to be up. All
what
right,
am I right now?
20.
Wow.
But you're going to go up. So really ground. Okay.
20 out of 10.
I know it's a funny scale. I could say 1 to 100, but it's just something for me to gauge what's going on. Okay. So here we go. Okay, so most people that I do that are over 10, they go all the way up to 10,000. So be prepared.
So what am I going to get now? What's going to happen? Am I going to
get more of what you already do? You're going to get clarity, and when you do energy work, you're going to get more. You're going to feel a lot more energy, and your abilities to do whatever it is you do, because I'm not quite sure what it is that you do, are going to increase. People are going to feel it more, and you can get back to me and tell me what.
Okay, I'll report back.
You report back, and I do this in a couple of levels, and usually people like you go up to 10,000, and then they go up into the millions. And you see,
what are you, Kat?
There's no number for what I am.
Okay, all right. You're
because
infinity.
This whole thing happens with resonance, right? That's the vibrations come to level out. Okay. And at the beginning when I did this and my vibrations weren't that high, I would be extremely tired because I am giving my energy to that other person.
Absolutely.
To bring them up, right? And so now that I'm where I am, and it's been 6 years in the making, and I just kind of graduated because I've been downloading like 24/7 for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm a very committed person.
No kidding.
Well, I'm curious. Spirit loves curious people. Okay, Hugh, let's see where you come in at.
This is openness to spirit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Openness to spirit. And you're a 6, and they're laughing at you, but 6 is good, okay? Most people are 1 to 4. And 6 is telling me that you've actually looked at some of your shadow side or your shit, and you've dealt with it, right? And you believe. You know that there's something else to connect to rather than, just on the physical flame. Most of you have both of you have had experiences in that way, but Sandra more so. Okay, so now we're going to up you, so you kind of relax for a bit, and here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. So, done. They took you up to 1,000. So the same thing is going to apply to you. You may get some profound intuitive information. I have a chart. I have a chart that talks about people's different psychic styles. I don't know if I send that one to you about how you connect. Anyways, for both of you, I'm now going to send you one other thing before we end, and that is like a pendulum attunement so that those charts can work better for you. Okay. And then I want you to go to my site because I finally got a new site, and there's kind of like instructions. There's information there that is worth reading about the pendulum and dowsing and all that. So I'm going to give both of you this, what I call a pendulum attunement right now, okay?
Okay.
Done. And I have to always remember when I've been at this for 24/7 for 6 years as to why I'm doing this, because the why is very important to me, because I'm committed to help the earth, and I'm committed to help people get through, assist people that do it themselves through the deep shit that a lot of us are in, because I've been there myself many times, and I know that it's a struggle to get away from that, to get out of that hole that we make, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel fantastic right now, fantastic. And I was a person who had lots of health issues, asthma, and for a while there I was having epileptic seizures, and I had fibromyalgia, and I was in chronic pain for about 25 years of my life over a bicycle accident that I had when I was 29. It's all gone. It's all gone. But it's not an easy path to come up out of. So, I really want to help other people access their inner knowledge or their guides. When I first took Reiki, there was an invocation, and you ask the Reiki guides to come down and stuff like that. Well, I always said it, but I didn't really realize that I was tapping into them, that you are when you're doing that. And I didn't realize that until I was at a meeting and somebody was talking to their guide, who happened to be Archangel Michael. And I said, well, is he my guide? And she asked, she was using the pendulum, and said no. And I said, well, is he supposed to? It said yes. I said, okay, fine. 2 weeks later, my life changed.
Wow.
Synchronicities started coming in, so much that it was like, even if I was blind and dumb, I still would have gotten the fact that somebody was offering me a line. And I connect to people that have crossed over as well. And usually the first thing they do is come through and send down their love, and then they apologize for something, and then they guide us in some way. What is funny about that is they maintain basically the same personalities that they had when they were on Earth, but
wow.
they have. Yeah,
Kathy, listen, we're just about out of time here, but it's been great to have you on the show, and thanks so much for fixing us, especially Sandra.
To help to deal with you.
Well, you can email me if you need more help, and go to my site.
Well, he will be for sure, or I will on his behalf.
And let's tell people where to get in touch with you on your website. True Believers, what is it?
Yeah. It's True Believers, TREW Believers.com.
.com.
Yeah,
okay.
And both of you really need to realize that you've been given a gift today.
Thank you.
And that something did happen. So please talk to each other about what is going on for you, because this affects everybody differently, right? That's the joy.
Oh God, that means I have to talk to you off air, Hugh. Oh. Kathy,
see what you've done now, Kathy.
Had you told me that was part of the program here?
No, actually, no. We're just kidding. Actually, I'm very grateful,
so
and I'm sure Sandra is too, that that you did this for us today.
Yes,
so thank
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
It feels awesome.
So let's do it again, Kathy, sometime soon.
Sometime soon. You call me.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for all you're doing.
Yes.
Thank you for all the work you do on behalf of Gaia.
Yes, and I need more animals, so remember that when I want animal shelter places too.
Okay.
All over the world.
Okay. All right, Kathy, thanks.
Okay, bye.
We'll talk soon, Kath. So,
Thank you, Kathy.
All right, so that's the show.
Wow,
That's
what a
the
way
show.
to end the show. That was amazing.
Well, we got one more thing we're
Okay.
going to go out with. Apparently, in Japan now,
Another video.
they are teaching androids how to be prostitutes. And,
Okay.
and,
What did Kathy just do?
and we have a video now. You see? So we're going to watch this video. That's it for the show. Thanks,
Okay.
Sandra.
Awesome.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
机械应招女取代真人，敢会通？纽西兰科学家大胆预测，在2050年前，机械的应招女会取代真人，服务恩客。
No money, no honey.
男客们只需花费区区
Credit approved.
12500美金左右，就能拥有 Android 版的梦中情人。不过，跟机器人上床还是会被认为是色胚吗？现今的性工作者又要何去何从呢？色情文化相当发达的日本，则早已致力开发一种叫 Geminoid 的拟真娃娃。他们的情色玩具市场价值1000亿，性爱机器人似乎也只是合理的下一个开发重点。还有，如果你担心传染病问题，这些机械应招女还配备抗菌纤维，避免你染上性病。你觉得机械应招女会成真吗？留言告诉我们你的看法吧。Oops！快来订阅我们的频道！